A very quick one in order for me to explain what I've promised you for some time now. I've been postponing it because of one reason or the other. So quickly, I'm going to use this design. I'm not going to be making a thorough design here, but I'll be explaining what we call hierarchy and alignment. Okay, so quickly, taking a look at this design now, I'm going to start with hierarchy. Hierarchy is the order at which your audience or your viewer looks. What captures your viewer's attention first? That is what we call hierarchy. So the way you place your text, your images, your shapes in your design, it matters a lot on how it captures your viewer's attention. So taking a look at this design now, if you were to be inside a moving car, you're moving at a fast speed and you're seeing this design being printed and hung somewhere, what is the first thing that is going to attract your attention here? What will attract your attention here? Psychologically, as a designer, you must have that psychic knowledge to know that, okay, the first thing that a viewer or is going to see in this design is the picture of this, is the image of this food. There's a plate of food. That is the first thing that is going to capture the person's attention. After the image of this food, now what next? As a designer, you need to think psychologically. You need to ask yourself questions. Say, okay, after looking at this, what next is your viewer going to look for? The next thing your viewer is going to look for is the name of the brand, Spice and Spoon. You are inside a moving car. So now you have seen the picture of the food. It has passed a message to you that, okay, this is about food. Maybe they are selling food there. Now the next thing, the person will want to see what is the name. Since you are inside a moving car, you want to know the name of that brand or what is the title of that flyer, in case you can just capture the name so that some other time you can use that name to retract where you saw that flyer. You understand? So that is hierarchy. So merely after seeing this image here is a center of focus that attracts a viewer's attention to your design. So when you are making a design, you must take note of all these small things. What do you want your viewer to understand first? What do you want them to understand first? What do you want them to see first? It is a picture of this image that your viewer is going to see first. That is what is going to attract your viewer to look at your design. The next thing is the title, Spice and Spoon. Home of delicious delicacies. You might not really take time to look at that. The next thing now that the person is going to glance through is our services. What are they really selling? What food are they really selling? This is a matter of speed. The person is skimming through your design at a very fast speed. The next thing the person is going to look at rice, spaghetti, and the rest of the thing. After that, what next is the person going to look for? Is the contact address. The person might be interested. The next thing the person is going to look for is the number or their social media handle. So you must keep the social media handles and contacts, in fact the contact details, in a place that it is very very easy for a viewer to locate. Not something that the viewer start looking at your design saying, asking his or herself, where is the contact located? You must place it in a place that you know that after your viewer looks at this, look at this other side, the next place is going to look for is the contact details, where the call to action details are. So you must place it, and this is the best position to place your contact details, because that is where psychologically that is where a viewer's eye is going to get to. So now, fast forward. Let me quickly explain what we call alignment. So now, taking a look at this design is well aligned. This is a center alignment. You can see center alignment. Everything is there at the middle. Everything is at the middle. You see, if I on this my grid, you can see everything. This my middle line. You can see this my middle line. Everything is there at the middle. So of all designs I'm doing, all my elements, I'm centering them to the middle. I'm centering everything to the middle. So for example, let me unlock this spice. Let me unlock this spice and spoon. So for example, I typed out this my spice and spoon. Then I want it to be in this line like this. But being in this line, if you look at this design, this spice and spoon here, it is not in the rightful position. If you look at it, it's not nice being here. I want it to be at the middle. If you understand, that is what we call alignment, making your work decent, everything well arranged. So the way this text here now is, I want it to be in this particular horizontal line, but I don't like this position it is. Do you understand? I want it to be at the middle, and I can't just use my hand to find the middle. So what do I do in order for me to be able to find the middle on this right position? So what I'm going to do is that I'll go to this my text and look for relative position. This is for left alignment. If you click here, it will take you to the left. If you click the middle one, it will take you to the middle. So that is the middle alignment. So since I've clicked on that middle one, it's going to take me here. If I'm looking for right alignment, it will take me to the right. Looking for middle, that is centralized, it will take you to the middle of your wall. You have seen, if I click here and here, this way is going to take me to. Do you understand? Or if I'm going down, it will take me down. Going up, it will take me up. But where our focus is that I'm going to push this design down here. I want it to be at this position. Now, at this position, I cannot really determine if this is really the middle of this job. So what I'm going to do is that I'll click here in order to centralize my wall. That is simple. That is what we call alignment, using that relative position to be able to align your wall in their rightful positions. The same thing happens here. This shape here, I love where it is. If I place it here, it is scattered. It is not centralized. Everything is not being aligned. So what I'll do in order for me to make sure that my work aligns with the spice and spoon and every other thing that is obvious for me to use my relative position to and bring it back like this. You have seen. The same thing with the text that is inside here. I can just go to relative again. Click on this. It will take me. Same thing here. I want it to be at the middle. I'll go to my relative. Take it to the middle. You can see everything is being aligned. Then down to where they are having the contact informations. Where you're having the contact information. You use your eyes here to align everything. You're going to use your eyes to align. Check the space between here. You check if the space between here. Space between here and also here. Use your eyes to determine that the two spaces are equal, and then you determine your middle. You understand? So that is just a quick and simple explanation of what we call hierarchy and alignment. Don't forget, hierarchy is how you position your things, the way your viewers are going to view your work. How is their eyes movement? Do you understand? What do you want your viewer to view, to take a look at first? What do you want to attract your viewers' attention? That is hierarchy. Knowing where to place elements in your design. Then alignment is arranging your work in a uniform manner. Imagine student lining up. If a student comes to the devotion and decides to stand anyhow, looking at that kind of arrangement of students standing anyhow, there is no uniform arrangement there. So as a senior student, what you do is that you tell the students to line up. Everybody should be on a straight file. So that is what we call alignment. You understand? That's a very quick and simple example of what we call alignment. Thank you.